studying. What we're going to do today is we're going to finish up the few slides in the PowerPoint, and then we're going to review that midterm practice test. Right? I doubt we'll get through all the questions, so I'll have to actually post it to you eventually, as soon as I remember to do that. Yes, Jonathan. See, I see you were at everybody else. What the deal is practice? She's like, okay. All right, I don't have that many. That's one. Fingers.
What is it? It's a kiss. It's a Hershey kiss. Nice one.
It wasn't to you, just to her. Mine's my last one. Thank you. Okay. Any questions about the calendar? If you ask me, when do I turn in number 3, part 2, I'm going to kill you. Okay? I'm having that question so many times, and this is why I use every single class for 7 weeks now. So don't ask me. So
On that, to add on to that, when you turn in a part 2, after that, you're going to turn in the whole thing electronically. So you guys forget that last part. So turn in part 2, then your electronic one needs to be submitted. The whole thing.
yeah. Any questions about any of that? All right, where are we? We're somewhere waiting for that. We didn't do this one? Did we do this one?
His son got like these died.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
All right, so where we are at, I think is here. And I'll get back to this, okay? Start out with case study. 30-year-old woman recently gave birth to her first child via C-section. That's a shame. She was taken to the hospital after complaints of skin rash around the site of her C-section wound, and she also complained of something oozing from the scar. A nurse took her back, took her vital signs, found her BP to be extremely low. Granted, I probably should have put lower than that because some of you are walking around with that blood pressure, and you're fine. After speaking with the doctor in call, decided to order further testing, found her CBC contained the following: low fibrinogen levels, low antithrombin, and low platelet count, among other things. Based on these results, an initial diagnosis of sepsis was given. Doctor didn't know this was enough, so he performed a more thorough exam, found remnants of her placenta, and was left in her abdominal cavity from her C-section. So, final diagnosis.
A retained placenta?
Even though it's not part of your
What?
chocolate dehydration.
What?
It's just your headache or what was that?
No, so
Anyway, let's do this. What we got? What do you think we got? And that is malaria. What? Hey, did we decide malaria is not actually in the class?
Oh yeah, she's already.
just a liter.
She just doesn't actually come. trouble.
At the end of our lecture, but I didn't think that was like
Question.
genetic.
Hey, what's the answer to this? Would it be?
A retained placenta.
This is not Jeopardy. Jeopardy. Don't answer in a question. I asked, what is this? You say, it would be.
So
Low
she's,
fibrinogen and low fat.
so she's hemorrhaging.
So she's hemorrhaging.
So she's,
Why would that be? Would they use it as a retain placenta?
yeah.
What?
Because her placenta, because her body
Okay.
is trying to push the placenta out, and so
Remnants
it's
of her
bleeding.
placenta, that is significant, but that's not the problem here. I mean, it's the problem, it's not the diagnosis.
Yeah, so so her body is trying to detach the placenta, and so she's bleeding, hemorrhaging.
She is hemorrhaging, she is bleeding, okay? Now, we can go back to the slide before, okay? Again, here's kind of what happened. That placenta was still there, okay? At least part of it was still there, which means that there were some damaged blood vessels, right? And that's how you start the intrinsic pathway. But also there was some damaged tissue. Yeah, that's a placenta. Okay? Well, the problem is when you have both of these, okay, you're activating both pathways, but even more importantly is because the extrinsic pathway deals with tissues, that tissue factor was getting into the main bloodstream. Okay? When tissue factor in massive quantities like that gets into the main bloodstream, then we have a problem because that's activating that extrinsic pathway of coagulation everywhere in the entire body. Okay? That means you're getting multiple clots all over the rest of the body, which means that those clots are going to the organs like the lungs, the kidneys, the liver, the pancreas, the everything organs, and clotting them up. Okay? So what happens in that case is you start seeing all of these clotting factors are being all used up. That's why they were all low. Okay? All of these clotting factors are being low because they were all being used up because you're literally clotting all over the body. And by the way, it was killing organs. Okay? So if you look at this, what's happening is coagulation, clotting everywhere. Clots, thromboses or clots. Okay? So it's killing all these organs. You can have multi-systemic organ failure, as in many organs failing at the same time because of ischemia, because of all the clots all over the place. But then eventually, you know what? You run out of clotting factors. And when you do run out of clotting factors, guess what? She still had that bleed. She still had that trauma, that damage, right? And that sepsis, that bacterial infection, probably reopened the wound, okay? And now what's to stop you from bleeding? Because you ate all your clotting factors up, right? So as you can imagine, DIC has a really, really high mortality rate, okay? Because on one hand, you're clotting like crazy, so what do? Give them a bunch of blood thinners, right? And if you look at these things that are dark, those are all like your clot busters, okay? Anticoagulants, whatever you want to call them. So you give a bunch of those to stop your organs from failing, but then when you run out of all your clotting factors, you start bleeding like crazy, okay? And then what do? Well, you need to get clotting factors. So you're constantly in this problem, which is why it has a very high mortality rate, like I said. It's not uncommon for somebody with a really bad case of DIC go through like 20 units of blood. I mean, you're pumping everything out one way and pumping everything brand new blood in the in way. In the in way, you know what I mean, right? So it's kind of a major deal. Okay, so what you're going to see, of course, is in that case study, all of those clotting factors in that case study were all low because they ran out. Okay, And then the next problem is going to be a lot of bleeding, a lot of bruising, hypotension, because again, you're just bleeding everything out. Yes?
So is this a type of hemophilia?
It is not a type of hemophilia. This is a thing that could happen to anybody at any time. I actually saw a guy that it was a pure virus infection. He had like the flu or something. And he ended up getting, you guys see him dying right there within like an hour. Just totally bizarre kind of stuff. This one of those that is, it's your time to go, you're going. Yeah.
How would you treat it though?
That's how they treat it, is they try to stop those little fires as they're flaring up while they're just pumping a bunch of, they're draining the guy of blood and putting more in.
Try to prevent it more than anything.
Yeah, preventing it would be better.
Yeah, the causes, like for example, placenta being inside the uterus still, the doctor has to make sure everything got out. Because that placenta, the little bit of placenta staying there can cause that. Same thing with sepsis. Sepsis is infection in the blood. They will give